your life's going to be like right now. If you're in jail, even if you're not a mental institution, you go to jail, yeah? You're into drugs, you want to go to jail? When you do drugs, you want to go to jail, right? Because that's where you go if you do drugs. And when you're in jail, I don't have the cheese. I didn't take a cheese. I should have brought a cheese, actually, because the cheese is the biggest thing. But I'm going to show you a different one other than the cheese, because y'all seen the cheese. I'll actually post a cheese video later, maybe, if I have it saved tomorrow, maybe. But this is peanut butter. These are the peanut butters you get in jail. The same cheese you get here, that has changed the cheese. There's people that come back after being out for 2 years in the community because they get sick of the cheese. And they change the cheese in the building so people readmit themselves just for the cheese and how they think as gangsters eat the cheese. Well, these peanut butters, I'll show you. It's called the Leaning Tower of Peanut Butter. The game is, you make a tower out of the peanut butter, and the one on top has to fall. Now, if it doesn't for this video, I'm gonna be pissed off, because I always make the top one fall, no matter what. Now, it's kind of hard for you to see because I gotta you'll see it come up because it's gonna start down low, right? I'm gonna put one of these cookies because you gotta have one of them. These are the cookies, not the Jewish ones. There's Jewish cookies here, and then there's the chocolate chip ones. But these ones are for diabetic people. But the diabetic people, they eat the Jewish ones with the sugar, and the people that aren't Jewish, and well, maybe Jewish, but everyone else eats these ones because no one wants to eat the Jewish cookies. But these ones are the ones for diabetics. The diabetics don't eat them. They eat the sugar-filled ones. And then they get their insulin, the free insulin. Yeah. So what you do is you take this off. You place it. Now it's going to be hard because this is going to be really hard because it's on top. I'm doing this on top. Oh, on top of a cookie. There's a new one that I didn't know. It's going to be even harder. This is your life in jail if you do drugs and go to jail, right? This is what you'll be doing for the rest of your life. For 25 years in prison. You're going to put orange juice with sugar in a cup and leave it sit there for 3 days. You think it's even going to ferment? It takes 2 weeks to ferment. You're going to make it sit there for 3 days and you're going to drink it before it ferments. You're not waiting 3 weeks, right? Just the way it is. Now you take your finger and you eat the peanut butter and you stick it through the lid, right? Take the next one. Now it depends which way you want to put them. If you do it right, the top one will fall. See, I trust your instincts. My instincts at first told me that putting it, see right there, that was bad. You have to put it right on. I tampered with mortality there. I'm gonna put it on. Really? You think drugs are cool? You wanna do drugs? End up in jail, mental institution for 20 years? Because you're not doing much drugs in here. I mean, there was, you sometimes, if you're in, you get a go, right? You get a go where you were gangster enough to let you get away with it for a few years, you know? But after that ends, you lost it, and you're in segregation or lose your privileges for years. They make up the COVID shit to get us locked up. You know? So far, the tower stands strong. I have 3 more. So, if I make the tower strong, I'm gonna put it on this put it this way now, because it's got to fall on the top, right? Is this what you want to do for 25 years? Or do you want to have a job, live free, go boating, you know, make money, support your family? Is this supporting your family when you killed someone because whatever happened? Or you stole something and now you have a family and you can't be with them anymore? You're going to be sitting there for 25 years, sticking peanut butter on top of each other, because that's what you're going to be doing if you get arrested. Even if you come to mental, maybe not come to mental hospital, but most people here don't know these things, right? Well, I know them, right? They say, well, I'll tell you about what happened at the jail. See, they took me to the SHU, and they were told I was a helpless idiot, mentally ill. So they only took 2 male security guards to take me to the SHU. Well, those 2 male security guards couldn't call back up in time to strip search me before I kick them in the face, before they can shut the door on me and lock me up, right? Well, they gave me deals to be good, but what was going on in the SHU and different from, you know, at reception with the calls from my parents. The calls were the reason I committed that crime to be here. And the jail and the reception couldn't handle the calls that were going to happen either. That's why I got DO'd here. Because they couldn't handle the calls from my parents either. And they don't have to kill anyone or do anything like that to, you know, get away from that. They can just send the person away to a lunatic asylum because of the calls from their family. But there's 2 people in the world that were treated the best in jail. It was me and Charles Manson. I think Charles Manson wasn't treated like a guy in jail. He wasn't segregation, but he was given everything he wanted. They gave me everything I wanted within 20 seconds of asking, right? To keep me calm from killing people, you know. Those guards up in the SHU were laughing their asses off at reception that those people were calling the jail saying I was some helpless idiot that was going to die in jail. First of all, do you know what I'm in for? Second of all, they couldn't call for backup in time enough to search me to put me in the SHU, right? Before I kicked the shit out of the male guards, right? Right before he shut the door, I kick him in the face, right? It takes about 20 male security guards here to give me a needle. And it takes them about 45 minutes to do it. Right? That guy, I can't breathe, the black guy that died. Pussy. I have been held down. I have to be held down about 500 times harder than him to get them to give me a needle every time they want to give me a needle, right? I'm down 2 left, right? I think that guy died on purpose to make a point, you know, because he wasn't held that hard. I saw the video. I have to be in the bubble room with bruises this big, like watermelons on my back, before they let me out, right? Because they don't want to have pictures taken or me calling the cops about them bruises. They have to give me that needle because they have to use force. Because I fight. So when they keep calling the jail and the jail tell them to stop calling, and they don't stop calling, you know, that's what went to court, right? It had to. They couldn't handle the calls either. I commit, you know, aggravated assault with a weapon that should have been charged with attempted murder, but I pled guilty to try to stay in jail. I did it to go. You can't come to the jail and you know, I thought they couldn't come in the jail and harass me. Apparently they were harassing this reception desk just like they harassed me. Like the rule was in my apartment that if I didn't answer the phone for them, that I was going to the mental institution in Welland. You know. Well, that phone rang. I just decided, oh, I think the last one's gonna fall, you know. This one stayed. One more. That phone rang. when I was at top peak, you know, angry. That was it. Out the door. First person I ran into got stabbed in the face. I realized it was wrong, and I showed mercy, yeah. But, you know, the fact that the woman literally could have walked out and just not made it a thing, and I probably would have come to my senses and not done it. But she had to test me, just like everyone wanted to test me, right? Here we go with the last one. But, you know, you see, first of all, my behavior in the courtroom was because they were in the courtroom screaming. My parents, right? What nonsense, thinking what about me? Go away, right? Well, it's different now. Once you get in a lunatic asylum and they give you that needle, yeah, you want to hug your mama. I don't want to hug her, but you talk to them, right? They get told, them snouts get told that they can't do things like that anymore, you know, but they still do. You know, she made me come home when I had the cat as a babysitter. She forced me to want to go on a weekend pass anyways. I don't know why. She was receiving government child support for having an insane person on the weekends. She was using me to come home for weekends to get money. This is what I mean. Like, okay, it's the last one. I'm going to shut now about that, but, you know, I got one more peanut butter. Your Leaning Tower Premier. I am even allowed to leave myself for a shower in jail. I was so violent, you know. And if they asked me what I wanted, they say, "You want some paper and pens?" I said, "Yeah." They gave me a little piece of paper and pen. Right? This paper's not big enough. Well, there's coming with paper, big piece of paper, lots of them. 2 minutes later, if I want 10 books, they say, "Well, we don't have these books." I say, "Well, you're getting them." 2 minutes later, all them books arrive. If they say, "You want one of your Rice Krispie squares," you know, if you know, stop yelling at the ill woman, the actually ill woman that everyone hate in the shoe because she's in the first cell, watch, and I can't stop telling her to shut up, right? Well, they screaming a lot in jail. That's why I didn't like it really much. I didn't know I thought people were like cool and quiet in jail, you know, like it was like a thing where people were nice and friendly and cool. You know, like people had you know, like the streets, you know, like where people weren't snitches, you know. No, they scream and holler. Yeah, that disturbs my peace, you know, so I was quiet from 9 p.m. till 11 a.m. Not once did I make a sound between those hours. And really the screaming for me was like telling them to shut up because they couldn't stop screaming, you know. And I'm helpless, little bitch. Well, no, I'm sorry, but no, I'm not, right? I'm not joking about calling on Gabby Garcia to a street fight 2 days in a row, you know, and see who wins to both of them, you know. If you think about, if you even know what I mean by that, right? Let's see. Well, that's what it was supposed to do. I think it was success. It was a success, don't you think? I mean, if you saw it from the other direction, I'm gonna pull this when I lick my finger. I'm gonna show you what it looks like from my direction. You're gonna laugh your ass off because I'll show you right now. Now look at this. First of all, don't mind the clown face. We all like clowns, right? Crack poppers. But there it is. The Leaning Tower of Peanut Butter. All right? That's your life if you get arrested. Think about what you enjoy in life and if you want that to be your biggest enjoyment of the day. So, you know, think about it, eh? Peace out.